Nairobi, Kenya, the 1982 Marlborough Safari Rally. The greatest, the toughest motor rally in the world.
I would like a win this year. The only problem is another half a dozen people have the same idea.
Favourite and the #1 in the seeding is Kenyan resident Shekhar Mehta, four-time winner and again driving a Datsun Violent GT, this time in brand new Marlborough livery. With their superior local knowledge, drivers from Africa have dominated the rally for 3 decades. Overseas entrants rarely cracking their solid mastery. Mehta's teammate is Mike Kirkland, also of Kenya, in a Datsun Sylvia, seeded second of the 73 entries. 2 minutes later, a third Nissan Works team entry driven by Timo Salonen of Finland joins the 4-day trek. Salonen finished 4th the previous year and is looking to improve upon that. Chief threat to Nissan's defence of the title are the Works Opals driven by Rauno Aaltonen from Finland and Walter Röhrl from Germany. The first Middle East driver ever to take part in the safari is Abdullah Omar of Dubai. He will be depending on the local knowledge of Kenyan co-driver Aziz Yaqub in their Marlborough-sponsored Datsun Sylvia. Ahead of Omar and all the others lay 5,000 of the most demanding kilometres on Earth, a marathon test of skill and endurance closely controlled by rally officials. The Marlborough Safari Rally is run each Easter weekend over a course in Kenya rimmed by Mount Kilimanjaro, Lake Victoria, Mount Kenya and the Indian Ocean. Stage 1 is launched from the mountain highlands of Nairobi and plummets through jungle and game land to the sea. With only brief pauses for food and rest, it clambers back from equatorial Mombasa to regain the thin, chilled air of the Kenyan capital. Rallying is not about pure speed, it is about consistent speed. That average speed is set impossibly high for the terrain and the conditions, the obstacles and obstructions. It is a question of how near a driver can approach the impossible that determines the finish order. Drivers are assessed penalty points for arriving early or late at specified points along the route. A successful driver knows when to pour on the speed to gain time to balance the sections where he will lose it. Rallies are run over public roads, subject to public laws. Alone among racing drivers, the rally entrant considers speeding tickets a hazard of the course. Most rallies have special stages, flat-out sprints designed to tear the car to tatters. The Marlborough Safari Rally is a special stage from start to finish. Seeding for the 1982 Safari proved accurate on the first leg. #4 Aaltonen in his Opel held the lead on the run down to Mombasa, lost it for a while to Mehta, then regained it on the run back to Nairobi. Immediately behind him is #1, Shekhar Mehta. Even the village dogs wander out to inspect the flying Datsuns. Tony Pond of England is among the leaders, throwing his car through the unfamiliar curves as well as anyone. His performance is enhanced by the fact that he is a rookie to this event. Timo Salonen, a star of the previous Marlborough Safari Rally, charged with all his skill and determination. But then braking problems on his Datsun caused him to fall back from the vanguard. Checkpoints scattered regularly along the course determine who is doing what and where. Cars can be eliminated for not arriving within a specified time. Speed average and performance are computed and penalties levied on the basis of the flying report cards.
How's it going?
So many problems.
Yeah? What are some of the problems?
Ran out of petrol just right now.
Petrol, yeah? How's the car running?
Okay.
Porsche is a name to reckon with in any type of motor racing, and Sandro Minari of Italy is out to revive the sagging fortunes of the make in recent rallies. Plumes of dry dust are the earthen contrails of much of the first leg, but overnight rainstorms leave enough mud to bog many drivers down. Walter Röhrl of Germany, leading the World Rally Championship, splashes through in his Opel. Mater, hovering near the lead, goes through the mud with determination, but also the realization that to win at rallying is to survive. It is the Finn Aaltonen first back to Nairobi, a happy beginning to his 19th safari. Second car on the ramp is the first seed. Shekhar Mehta set a record with his third consecutive safari crown a year earlier. He is well placed to improve upon that record. The second leg of the safari leaves the uplands of Nairobi and climbs even higher toward Lake Victoria. Its 1,600 kilometers make it slightly shorter than the first. Aaltonen in Opel number 4 and Nissan's number 1 Mater continue their battle, although they're not the only drivers out at Easter. Conditions on the second leg can change as quickly as a gear shift, and the constant danger of a surprise is nagging every co-driver navigating the route for his teammate. Kirkland is going well in number 2, his Datsun presenting a strong threat to the leading Opel. England's Tony Pond adds to the Nissan charge. For many, the rally is already history. Almost any mechanical repair is permitted and performed en route. On a dry year such as this, axles are shattered with regularity. Tires become tissue. What is lost is time, and time is what rallying is all about. Wish you good luck. The rugged Kenyan countryside is not suited to high-speed rally cars. Most people there have never even been in a car, but have supported the safari enthusiastically for 30 years. Seeing a car blast across a simple wooden bridge designed for carts, hooves and feet is part of the constant contrast in Kenya. Aaltonen drives crisply and quickly to maintain his lead, determined to score his first safari win. Mater is no less precise in his driving, nor less ardent in his search for another victory. At the end, it is the home team, Mater motoring to the leader's stand at the finish of the exhausting second leg.
Hi, Shu. Welcome back.
Thanks, Asher.
And how was that told? Tough going?
Chirangani's was very difficult.
Yeah.
And the Kipkorian section, oh my God. That was rough as hell.
Sure.
It was
Good.
unbelievable.
All well?
Yeah, everything okay.
Superb. Very good.
But we didn't expect our axle to last through Kipkorian.
Yeah. Well.
We discussed it and we said we're going to break, but let's see how many we can take with us.
Yes. More like that.
The third and final leg of the Marlborough Safari Rally circles Mount Kenya, the highest peak in Kenya. Meta, Pond and Rural make much of the running on the third leg. The experienced Kenyan and the German world champion were expected to be at the front, but newcomer Pond is a huge surprise. Fellow rookie Abdullah Omar is still gamely competing. He was to lose a promising 17th place when East Africa proved tougher than his car. Omar was in a large majority. More than 2/3 of the entries never saw the finish line. Only 21 of the 73 cars were able to complete all 3 stages. Near the end of 5,000 destructive kilometers, farther than London to Moscow or New York to San Francisco, the remaining drivers are still going flat out. Cruising with time well in hand is Shekhar Mehta, within sight of a phenomenal 4th consecutive triumph in the world's toughest rally. The driving performance of the rally is that of Rob Collins in what was considered an uncompetitive Kenyan-built Range Rover. Jubilation mounted in Nairobi as the cars neared. European drivers had begun to win regularly 10 years earlier, after 2 decades of frustration. Then Mehta slammed the door on them and again made the Marlborough Safari Rally an annual victory for Kenya. Mehta and co-driver Mike Doughty had suffered an incredible array of mechanical problems, yet persevered. An axle lasts a normal car a lifetime. The winning car went through 7 in 4 days. 7 axles, 7 lifetimes. Ever correct, Mehta uses his turn indicator to signal his entry to victory lane. Mehta has his 4th consecutive win and his 5th in the last 10 years. No other driver has ever been so dominant in a World Championship rally.